Okay, so we're going to kick off our interview now with David Alexander. Davis, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for having me on. Excited.
Great. So whereabouts are you right now, and what are you at?
So I'm in Portland, Oregon, about as far west of the United States as you can get. Um, just got done working out. Actually, we had team workouts this morning. Let's see, I guess it's 12 o'clock here now, but and I actually just graduated school last term. But I still have one more football season left, so I'm excited for that. But nice feeling being done and graduated, and excited to take on this year.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Davis, I want to kind of kick things off by asking you, why did you pick QB to play such a big position on the football field? Such a position with a lot of there's a lot on you to perform well. There's a lot of pressure on you. Why did you pick QB, and who inspired you to play the position?
Yeah. So honestly, when I first started playing football, I started in second grade. I was about 6 years old. I just wanted to play any position, so they actually stuck me at offensive lineman, which is kind of funny because it's completely different than quarterback. Yeah. And then my mom ended up moving us to Washington, where I ended up growing up for a majority of my life. And when I got there, I was one of the better athletes, on the team. And I played baseball and had a really good arm, and they wanted to try me out at quarterback, and I stuck with it. And then, just through the year, that was in fourth grade. So through the years, I've just grown to, I love the position. I love having the pressure on you. I don't care, if it is all on me, win or lose, it's going to be on you, and I'd rather have it be in my hands than in someone else's hands. So I just take a lot of pride in that. I'm probably one of the most competitive people out there. So like I said, I'd rather the ball be in my hands than someone else's.
Nice. I really like that attitude, and I think that's so important at a quarterback position. Then, I guess like you see, Brady, he grew up a massive 49ers fan, and Joe Montana was his childhood hero. And for Peyton Manning, he loved Dan Marino, and he also loved his dad Archie. Was there a quarterback for you, maybe in the pro level, that you looked at and was like, right, that's the guy, that's my idol, that's who I want to sort of replicate in my career?
I don't know. I would say there's definitely some quarterbacks like Drew Brees. I respect the heck out of. I love Tom Brady just because he's such a winner. But I think like my playing style and just growing up, I tried to play a lot like some of the top college quarterbacks at the time. Like I was a huge Johnny Manziel fan. I loved his competitiveness, his ability to scramble, his excitement that he brought to the game. He was one of my absolute favorite players. And even recently, Baker Mayfield, he has that same type of competitive drive. I'd love Drew Brees, respect him. I think I just found a little bit more excitement at the college level. I still love the NFL. I'd rather watch the NFL, but as far as quarterback play, they go for 500 yards a game. It's incredible to watch.
And watching your highlights, you mentioned Baker Mayfield there, you mentioned Drew Brees. You're 6 foot. You're not too far away in height from these guys. There's some similarities on tape with the likes of Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel. Extending the play with your legs definitely comes into your game quite a lot. We see that in a lot of the tape that I watched, you were not only able to throw it, 30, 40 yards downfield, but you could also extend the play with your legs. But I want to know, transitioning from Gig Harbor in Washington high school, what was the biggest thing that you had to learn about the college game? What was the most difficult attribute that you had to kind of pick up moving across?
Yeah, just the speed of the game. You go from playing in high school where you're the star that, you know, majority of the people on your team and the guys you're playing in college, they're the star of their team in high school. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then when you get to college, you're now playing against everybody's best player. Like my very first practice here at Portland State, I threw a pick six on my very first throw. It's just it's so much faster. You got to be a little bit quicker mentally, everything you do, or else it's going to show that, you know, you're lagging behind. And then just you got to attack every day. Try and be great every single day in what you're doing, no matter how little the task is. From, you know, weights on the field, film, meeting, doesn't matter. I think that stood out to me fast, and I'm happy I seemed to learn that.
Yeah, as Ross mentioned, you know, he sort of had a look at some of your highlights, and you know, he's sort of alluded to your playing style. But I want to know, from your personal opinion, what are your physical attributes, and what sort of characteristics of your game do you pride yourself off of most of, and what do you think makes you stand out as a quarterback?
Yeah, I think the thing that stands out for me is that a play is never over until the whistle's done. You know, I'm pretty good at escaping the pocket and escaping, you know, some pretty talented edge rushers that, you know, we faced. So, and that's what I try and preach to. I mean, our receivers know that, and they do a good job. But that's what I try and preach to them. It's just like, look, it's not over until I'm down, you know. And I think that comes, you know, from how competitive I am and just will to win. But that would be the thing that stands out to me the most.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. You have that drive, and you seem to have the mentality to want to keep a player alive. And I was watching your highlights against Montana there recently. You know, they have one of the best teams. You know, going into the season, they're going to be an absolute powerhouse in the division. And I'm just looking at their team, and even during that game, you were down by quite a lot, but you still powered through each play. You stayed on the field, you found targets, you were willing to take big hits in the pocket, and that's just something that gives me a little insight into what goes on in your head. And that moves me on to my next question, which is about the intangibles, leadership, relationships with coaches and players and other QBs. What do you think, you know, how important are those to you, especially going into your senior year, where NFL teams will be taking intangibles very seriously? What do you have to say on that topic?
Yeah, I mean, especially at the quarterback position, you need to have all those key characteristics: leadership, competitiveness, all that stuff. I try and reach out to, you know, a majority of our teammates, and just, you know, because we got 110 guys, you know, not everyone lives on campus, blah, blah, blah. But as a captain and as a quarterback of the team, you want to try and make sure that everyone feels involved. You know, no task is too little. You know what I mean? A scout team player could scout team player could absolutely, you know, make or break a week just based on whether he cares and is given a good look in practice. Stuff like that. And, you know, the older I get and the longer I've been here, this is going to be my 6th year now. I've just started to realize, you know, I've started to learn and realize, and just try to get everyone involved and feel appreciated and give the best effort all the time.
Yeah, and as you say there, this is your 6th year now with Portland State, and obviously, I'm sure that there's been high moments, but there's also been low moments as well, moments where you faced adversity, not just personally, but as a team. But my question to you is, has there been any major turning points within your collegiate career? For example, injuries or plays that maybe haven't gone well, or games that has changed the way that you play the quarterback position or approached your preparation and the type of way you play?
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple. Let's see, my freshman year, we actually went 0-11. We didn't win a single game on the year, and that was crazy because I'd never been a part of anything close to that.
Yeah.
But it just made us all look and try and figure out how we can approach the season and make sure that never happens again. Then the next thing is last year I whenever we played last, tore my shoulder labrum and my bicep. I did that at the beginning of the year, but I was able to play through it. It hurt, but I was able to still go. But it doesn't really change the way I play the game. I mean, obviously I got to protect myself maybe a little bit more, but you'll still get the same fiery competitive edge for me. And, I'm not afraid to get hit or anything dumb like that.
And Davis, I just want to go back to the Montana game that I mentioned earlier. Watching the highlights of that game and just kind of watching how you handled yourself and portrayed yourself that day. You rallied up the guys, you were down by a big score. What was going through your head in that game? Why did you have the mentality that you did that day? What gave you the hope and what gave you the motivation to continue playing in a game that was lost really come the third quarter? What was going through your head that day?
Just because, I mean, I know how explosive our offense can be, no matter, I think we were down 27-0 at half. And then I think we punted first series and then our defense got a stop and then we scored the second play of the drive. So we went down 27-7 with 10 minutes to go, I want to say. And I felt like we were still in it. Still had a chance, and obviously, you want to keep your team in it, and being a leader of the team, people are going to follow your leader. So, I just tried to, will us as far as we could go or whatever. But, obviously, we didn't come prepared well enough.
And the other guys in the quarterback room, obviously this is your last year at Portland State. There's bound to be a guy in that room who is looking to take the reins as the starter. Is there any guys who you're kind of mentoring now coming into your last year? Is there any guys who we might need to look out for come, 2023 and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, I try and, talk at least mentally through with all of our guys, not just whoever they think is going to be next, whoever our coaches think is going to be the next guy or whatever. Because ultimately it also makes me better. If you can teach it, you know it pretty well. Right. So there's a couple of guys in the program that, that our coaches are really excited about. We all kind of have different playing styles, which is interesting. But so sometimes I can't necessarily relate to how other guys are looking at, or I try to relate, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. Because there's a quarterback behind me that runs like a 4.5 with ease, and I'm like, well, if I had that, that'd be cool.
You don't want to race against him. You don't want to race against him.
Not I. I would not. But
yeah, Davis, you're pretty fast though.
Yeah, I'm quicker. I'm not. My top speed isn't crazy, but I'm able to get out of stuff real quick.
Here, it's better than both of ours. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, definitely. I bet you I run about a 6.6.
That's funny.
So as you say, you're heading into your senior year. And with that, it poses a lot of different challenges, and as well, it can open up doors in your future leading into the draft next year. And I'm wondering, Are you approaching this year differently with your expectations and goals heading into this season? Obviously with the NFL draft, and it's definitely something I'm sure you've got your eyes looking forward towards.
Yeah. I have high expectations for myself every single year. Obviously this is a big year. I don't want to say a lot riding on it, but it's final shot to prove yourself furthermore. But ultimately, I just want to win football games, and I feel like we win football games, the rest will take care of itself. You know what I mean? So I'm excited, I'm pumped for it, but I don't want to just start playing outside of my mind, outside of my body.
Definitely.
I'm not trying to push the envelope. You know what I mean?
Because you tend to find there's a. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, like I said, if we win games, I'm probably going to be playing pretty well, and that's the only thing I'm really worried about.
Definitely. And you tend to find there's a lot of guys out there who are coming into their last year in college, or we've seen it in the past. There's a lot of guys who come into their last year in college and they feel like they have to become something which they're not. And that's just something that ends up in their NFL draft stock falling rather than rising. And as you say yourself, you're playing this year in I think I heard it's a pro style concept, isn't it? You're trying to take on the reins of what a NFL system would be, and that's only going to benefit you well when you're trying to make the league. And honestly, Zach can say the same. Watching your highlights and watching how things have gone for you over the last 6 years at Portland State, there's definitely no reason why you can't be in question for a draft pick.
Absolutely. Or
even a rookie camp at all come 2022.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No worries. We've really enjoyed interviewing you, Davis. Zach, any more questions?
I suppose I've just got a general question. It's more focusing on the NFL, but Ross and I were discussing this earlier last week, and we had some interesting picks for who we think is going to win the Super Bowl. Way too early predictions, and we were hoping that you would maybe have a better option than the two teams that we picked.
So I got a wild card one for you, and I'm gonna say if the Broncos pick up Aaron Rodgers, the Broncos win it.
I like that.
He's a Broncos fan.
He's a Broncos fan. So I like to hear that, Davis.
I'm a Bronco fan as well.
Zach.
Please don't give him false hope, please.
This is the first time I've ever met another Broncos fan, so this is an amazing moment for me.
I've got a John Elway jersey sitting in my room right now.
Ooh.
See, I knew I liked you, Davis.
I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan, you see. Okay. So, I agree. Broncos pick up Aaron Rodgers, definitely in with a shout there. I went for the Chargers, actually, with Justin Herbert. You never know. He's a guy from that side of the world that you're on. He's Oregon. So, you never know.
I have a feeling that the Kansas City Chiefs will weasel their way back in somehow. So, but we'll see. We shall see.
Yeah, I think another sleeper, and you're not gonna like this, but I think the Rams. I think Matt Stafford is. Very legit, and that defense is just not one to mess with.
No, you're 100%.
But I think the Niners have a chance too, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Shanahan can't be, he's what a play caller he is. He seems to have a great grasp on the offensive system that he runs, and it's his own system, really. He's molded it into his own. And but you look at the Rams, you look at Matthew Stafford that have now, for so long, Sean McVay played with a quarterback that he didn't really want in Jared Goff. He wasn't the type of guy that could run his offense effectively. Mm-hmm. And now he's got Matthew Stafford, and the world's his oyster with him.
Right. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I've always been a huge Matt Stafford fan. He's done amazing things, and if you look at what all his teammates say about his past teammates, Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate, guys like that, they only speak the world about him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Well, there you go. We've got a few sleeper teams there. Davis, it's been great. It's been a pleasure interviewing you. Thank you for being our very first guest on this podcast. Would love to have you on again, maybe mid-season, just a wee chat with you. It's just to see how things are going. But all the best for the upcoming year, and we hope that it goes well for you come the draft as well.
Go Vikes.
Yeah, go Vikes.
Go Vikings, yeah.
Very nice to meet you guys, Ross. Zach.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Perfect.